Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and it is Sunday, so we are doing breaches of the week. Even though we are all sheltering in place for the coronavirus, so are the criminal hackers, and they are still at work. And by virtue of that, we have a lot to get through this week. And with that, let's start with GE, or General Electric. Yes, one of the largest companies in the world. They recently informed everybody of a security breach by one of their partners. This is a supply chain hack, basically, and that supply chain is Canon Business Process Services. Now, according to GE, approximately between February 3rd through the 14th of this year, an unauthorized party managed to gain access to a Canon email account that contains sensitive information on current and former employees of GE as well as their beneficiaries. This was email phishing. Now, according to the disclosure, the following information might have been included for their former and past employees: direct deposit forms, driver's license, passport, birth certificates, marriage certificates, death certificates, medical child support orders, tax withholding forms, beneficiary designation forms, applications for benefits such as retirement, severance, and death benefits, with related forms and documents. Now, according to GE's data breach notification letter as well, exposed forms may have also included names, addresses, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, bank account numbers, passport numbers, dates of birth, and other information. So this is a huge, huge thing, and GE has tens of thousands of employees. So hopefully you are not affected if you worked or used to work for GE. Moving on, let's give you an update on Virgin Media out of the UK. If you recall, they had a massive data breach that exposed the details of 900,000 of their customers, and basically this was a database that was insecure, so it was online, basically capable of being exploited for about 10 months. They could be liable now under UK law to basically be paying £4.5 billion in compensation, which is roughly £5,000 per claimant. So if you're in the UK and you use Virgin Media, you might get paid. Moving on, let's head on over to Ireland, and we're talking about the teaching council over there. Now, data was inadvertently shared that included basically council members' names, addresses, PPS number, not sure what that is, teaching council registration number, the month they joined the registrar, and their renewal date. Now, the council has already alerted the 9,735 teachers affected out of about 110,000, and basically said it was, and I quote, not likely to result in any real risk to you in circumstances where limited personal data was disclosed. So hopefully that is true, and if you are a member of the teaching council, heads up to you. Moving on, let's head down to San Diego, California for Tandem Diabetes Care. They are apparently a medical device manufacturer. They had an email phishing attack, and basically somebody gained access to their accounts between January 17th through the 20th of this year. The compromised email accounts contained customer contact information related to the use of Tandem's products or services, and or clinical data regarding customer diabetes therapy. In some very limited instances, quote unquote, customer social security numbers may have also been compromised. So if you are a user or a supplier of Tandem Diabetes Care, you might want to check in with them. Moving on, let me give you an update on Total Quality Logistics. If you recall, this is a massive trucking logistics company. They had a February breach, February of this year, and a $5 million lawsuit was filed on behalf of two trucking companies, one in Indiana and the other in Georgia. They are apparently in the United States and Canada. But here's where it gets interesting. This lawsuit is seeking to become a class action on behalf of other motor carriers that basically use TQL. And there are 85,000 carriers that use TQL. So this could be massive, life-ending for that business. I'll keep you updated as that goes on, but that was a huge, huge data breach in terms of logistics across North America for shipping and trucking. Moving on, let's talk about the University of Utah Health. They discovered unauthorized access to some employee email accounts along with a malware infection on one of their workstations. This took place sometime between January 7th and February 21st of this year. and the accounts that were affected had some patient information such as names, dates of birth, medical records, clinical information about received care, and on and on and on. So if you have anything to do with the University of Utah Health, heads up, you might want to contact them. Moving on. Let's talk about the the state of California DMV, or Department of Motor Vehicles. They have a possible data breach involving credit card transactions, and the reason why this is being reported on in local media out of San Francisco there is that basically MasterCard, the credit card, was sending out warnings to banks to alert them of fraudulent charges showing up on credit cards, and that was apparently traced back to the California DMV. And as more information comes out, I'll definitely keep you updated here every Sunday. Moving on, let's talk about a company called TrueFire. Now, apparently this is a tuition website for apparently a whole bunch of different kinds of lessons. One of their clients is guitar.com. So if you want to learn about guitars and you go to guitar.com, they use TrueFire to basically handle their tuition for them. And on January 10th, and this is not verbatim, but paraphrasing their breach disclosure nota, on January 10th, 2020, TrueFire discovered that basically somebody had gained access to their computer system and to information that customers entered through the website. Now, they say they don't store credit card information on their website, but it appears that the unauthorized person gained access and could have accessed data of consumers who made credit card purchases while that data was being entered, meaning as you were punching in your credit card, it could have been capturing it live. And so while they didn't necessarily hit the database that TrueFire had, they were capturing it live through probably some kind of keylogger or some other similar type of infection. And that happened between August 3rd of 2019 and January 14th of 2020. So that happened for about 5 months or so. And basically, to quote directly TrueFire, "We cannot state with certainty that your data was specifically accessed. However, you should know that information was potentially subject to unauthorized access. Includes the information includes your name, address, and payment card account number, as well as expiration date and security code." So heads up, if you use guitar.com or sign up for any kind of lesson, or you see TrueFire somewhere, you might want to contact them. Moving on, excuse me, still a little under the weather here. Moving on, let's talk about Norwegian Cruise Line. Now, if you recall, I mentioned a data breach a few weeks ago on some other major cruise lines, including Carnival, and I believe it was Princess, which is owned by Carnival. Now, Norwegian Cruise Line's getting hit on March 13th of 2020. DynaRisk's intelligence team, that apparently is a cybersecurity researcher, they discovered basically a breached database belonging to Norwegian Cruise Line. Now the data specifically had clear text passwords, which is awesome, email addresses belonging to 27,000 travel agents, many of whom are affiliated with major companies like TUI and Virgin Holidays. Now, the data in question is basically used by travel agents to log into the agents.ncl.eu website. So it looks like this is coming out of Europe, which basically acts as a portal for the Norwegian Cruise Line. So Norwegian Cruise Line itself is probably not data breached, but a common database that travel agents use is a very serious issue. And as a travel industry itself is taking a massive hit through coronavirus, we are seeing increased attacks on that vertical. And so that's a very serious issue. And next up is actually Chubb. These guys are a major cybersecurity insurance provider for business. So wow, they told TechCrunch it was investigating a security incident involving the unauthorized access to data belonging to an unnamed third party. Now, Chubb spokesperson Jeffrey Zach said the company had no evidence the incident affected Chubb's own network and that its network remains fully operational. Brett Callow, who's a threat analyst from MSISoft, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, I see their name a lot, basically alerted TechCrunch to the breach this past Thursday. And according to Callow, the security incident was a data-stealing ransomware attack launched by the Maze ransom group. We have seen them in the news quite a bit. And so Callow said the attackers behind the incident, presumably Maze, posted a listing on their website claiming to have data stolen from Chubb earlier in March. That is right out of the Maze playbook. The listing included the names and email addresses of 3 senior executives, including their CEO, Evan Greenberg. And interestingly enough, None of Chubb's sensitive documents have actually been posted to Amaze website yet, but we are all waiting with bated breath. And so that's a very serious thing. And finally, do you know who's actually preventing data breaches? The COVID-19 Cyber Threat Coalition. You guys have heard me talk about this before. I'm not going to go into the long spiel, but if you're a cybersecurity researcher, please come and join us. We are now vetting a whole bunch of threat intelligence, including indicators of compromise and everything else. And we are putting that out there for the world to use and to protect healthcare infrastructure and other critical infrastructure around the world. We are the line in the sand for this. And so please make sure that you are joining us or at least using our intelligence to continue to further your defensive strategies. And again, I'm not going to sit here and give you the long spiel, but please, feel free to sign up or contact me regarding this, and I am more than happy to point you in the right direction. Join us. We are an ever-growing group of thousands of cybersecurity professionals, companies, and outfits around the globe that are sharing intelligence and defending the planet, because no more. We are not going to see a hospital go down. And with that, those were your breaches of the week. Were you affected? Hopefully not. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And always feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.